Video highlights from Dirt Track Speedway, presented by Fast Chefs by Axle Exchange. They're not just fast, they're first. FastChefs.com. Hey everybody, it is Bucky Doren. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. Going to be kind of a sprint race edition of it, as I called it earlier. Kind of going to work through things a little quickly, as just coming home from Omaha, a father-son trip, so kind of getting back in. Plus also the city of Cedar Falls decided to done a ton of work outside my house up until about 8 o'clock, so it's been a little distracting. Plus also Trip the Dog Doren has needed his attention as well since we were gone all weekend, so we'll kind of rush through things here as quickly as possible, but also try to make sure we get some solid stuff to talk about. Coming up tonight, no heat races tonight. We're going to jump right into last chance qualifiers, kind of a season championship format, if you will. Also, a family affair. We'll talk about how racing and what I saw this weekend while we were killing some time at the hotel. And finally, my victory lane speech tonight. Nothing wrong with dreaming. That and more in this edition of Dirt Track Speedway. On getting people qualified for the first ever race. Now, if you notice in the background, Artifice Speedway. I've been working on a nice little fun video for the first ever Fast Chefs Invitational. So what's going to take place? Well, we're going to get 6 drivers' names. Already got 4. We'll get to those in a minute. And then we're going to have a little race at Artifice Speedway. We'll assign them randomly to one of those 6 cars. Whoever wins the race is going to, thanks to Pat Fagan and Fast Chefs by Axle Exchange, they're not just fast, they're first, going to be giving away a drive shaft to the winner of that. So again, it's we'll randomly assign the 6 drivers to one of those 6 cars, and then the race will take place actually a week from tonight, and that'll be the first ever Fast Chefs Invitational. So far, out of a random drawing, Shane Ebaugh was nominated and got invited. Austin Schrage, a sport mod driver. Matt Ganson out of Dubuque. Modified driver Daniel Waters from Iowa City. Hobby stock driver. So what I've been doing is having people, or you could either be a race fan, or the teams themselves can nominate. I'm going to double check to make sure we got the last entry. Oh, 2 more just came in as well. So what I've got here, it's random.org is the website I go. If you ever need to have random choices, random.org is a great place to go. All right, I'm going to do it on the website today. Click, and it is that one, that entry. Jesse Lund, number 14, stock car. I believe runs Adams County Speedway, if I'm not mistaken. Runs weekly out there. So congratulations, stock car driver Jesse Lund. And recount last driver that'll be in. Let me generate. And the last one that just got in is the one that gets in, Tyler Pickett. Congratulations, stock car driver number 5A. You are the 6th and final entry into the first ever Fast Chefs Invitational that'll be coming up a week from tonight. And again, if you're just logging in with this, those 6 drivers, let's see, there's Shane Ebaugh, Austin Schrage, Matt Ganson, Tyler Pickett, and Jesse Lund are the 6 drivers going to be staging a race. And before we start this video that'll run next week, we'll randomly assign them to one of those 6 drivers on the speedway. You'll see there, Artifice Speedway. And whoever wins that race is going to win the drive shaft. We'll do the drawing live during the show. And once again, thank you to Pat Fagan, Fast Shafts. They're not just fast, they're first. FastShafts.com. So, again, for those that are just logging in, appreciate logging in. Kind of a sprint show, kind of going through things a little fast here tonight. Mainly, I just got back from taking a father-son trip. It's an annual trip. My son and I, we have a hard time keeping our shoes clean between dirt track racing and also baseball, our love for that sport. An awful lot of time in the dirt, and one of the things that we do is a family tradition that we started, just him and I taking a trip to Omaha for the College World Series. And one of the things that we noticed while we were just kind of killing time at the hotel before we went off to the game that we were going to watch last night was all the people on Facebook talking about, hey, my father-son relationship at the racetrack, tons of pictures like that. My son and I have a lot of that type of thing that goes on as well. This was us actually having a great time. at the Omaha stadium there, TD Ameritrade Park. And then also, actually, I'll talk about this picture here in a little bit. He likes to go along to the races and listen in on the radios, the receiver, when I do both sides, both radios. And the family tradition, I kind of thought that was going to take place. I saw Weston Coop on Facebook. It wasn't shared publicly, so I didn't want to share the picture a whole lot, but I'll just surmise what he said. He was very proud. He got to have a perfect Father's Day weekend. Carter, his son, got to race at Mason City. A lot of family were there, and he said that he did a great job. Said that started in the back, passed some cars, ended up 15th, which I thought was great, that he was so proud of him that he passed a few cars. Car was clean. He said, now there was a few things that needed to take place. Some body panels needed to be straightened out. And I'll be honest with you, kids can amaze you. Here's one example. Weston Coop posted a picture earlier today that Carter, the boy, was out in the garage, already had the door panels off, was straightening them out, wasn't asked to do it, already starting to work on the car. Very proud moment there. Also saw on Instagram, Dylan Hamilton, his dad, Dirk Hamilton, races a late model, mainly at Independence and also at the Benton County Speedway Saturday and Sunday nights. Quote, race cars and girls are they're a lot alike, sorry. You'll have a lot of money if you don't get into either one. That's what his dad told him. And he says that his dad also tells him he's not a very good listener. I'll be honest with you. You were listening good at that point. All as a father and also as a mother that are listening in, we're all going to tell you have selective hearing. If it's important to you, like, hey, I got to fix a race car, or hey, money, race cars, and girls, you get their attention. You say, clean your room. What? I didn't hear that. Anyway, family traditions, a big part of racing. And the reason why I bring that up is also some of the things I saw was a bunch of, hey, what's the rules on this? Hey, and I think they're trying to screw me on that. They're cheating, or this guy ran me over. A ton of that also was on there. But let's not forget that those things are important to the sport because we got to keep everyone honest. But at the same time, let's not forget the family side of it. The family tradition can be quite a momentous occasion. So keep that family affair rolling in dirt track racing. So my victory lane speech tonight is nothing wrong with dreaming. Now, I showed you the picture a little bit earlier with my son and I at the racetrack. He's wearing the headsets, and I've never really ever pushed him to love the sport, hate the sport, be a part of the sport, but he's always talked about how he loves the behind-the-scenes aspect of it. Our father-son time and our family affairs I was talking about in our A-Main conversation has always been more on that side of it. I'd never took him. He wasn't old enough at the time when I was helping race teams, so he never got to see that side of it. So I always really kind of felt that he was going to be interested in the race mechanics of it, working a corner, putting on the races and whatnot. And so on the way home, again, here's another example of kids surprising you. So we're riding home, and one of the things I love about the trip is there's moments where we just kind of just watch the road. He reads and does other things, but we have great conversations. It's more revealing, I think, on both sides of us. And on the way home tonight, he was sharing with me, I'm thinking about getting I was talking with some buddies of mine about putting a race car together. And so really? And I said, well, what do you know about race cars? And so he started talking about his friends and his circle of friends who have that are race fans. And I said, well, can anybody work on an engine, work on a car? And so he starts telling me the whole conversation about how they've kind of talked about this in their game plan, which I thought was smart, because I said, well, you're not going to start it now, are you, before you go to no, we're going to wait till we get out of college, kind of get ourselves set and start paying off this and that, and then get together with everybody and start working. They even mapped out game plans as far as the classic car, where they wanted to race, how much. And I'll be honest with you, there was a few things in there I was like, boy, you're kind of shooting a little large, but I didn't want to say anything because I'll be honest with you, he was excited about it. And I didn't want to squelch that because he was excited about it. And it was something that I didn't encourage. It was him on his own, surprising me that he had that interest in it. So sometimes just taking him to the racetrack will lead to other things. Now, I tell this story for two reasons. The first and foremost is if a kid's excited about it, don't squelch him going, oh, you can't afford that, or that's crazy, you don't know anything about it. Just let him dream. Because, in 5-6 years after he's out of college and pays things off, he might have a different attitude on it. But nevertheless, he'll be excited about it. I know my buddy Pat Green and I, we used to go all over 5-6 states just to watch how a race was run. Our goal and dream was to own a track. Then I realized how drivers talk to promoters, and it wasn't as exciting. But nevertheless, there are those drivers that treat the promoters pretty good. But anyway, by the time we could get in that position in our life that we could have promote, we had different goals, different aspirations. Kids change things. So our love for the sport has always been there, but we're doing it in different ways. So the other reason why is in case his mother's watching tonight, I would like to make sure, for the record, that he brought it up on his own, Dad never said, hey, get a race car. This is all on him. So if you love the idea, hey, you're welcome. I was glad to be a part of that. If you don't love the idea, wasn't me. That's tonight's show with Dirt Track Racing. Apologize for being a little bit on the short side tonight. Next week, a week from tonight, we'll have our first ever Fast Shafts Invitational. A great opportunity to have some fun with Dirt Track Racing, and 6 guys going to be fighting for a drive shaft thanks to Fast Shafts by Axle Exchange. As you can see, the proud supporter of Dirt Track Speedway. For Pat Fagan and Fast Shafts, my name is Bucky Doren. Glad you could all join in tonight with the fun. Next week, it'll be even funner, more fun, funner. It'll be so much fun, milk will shoot out your nose. And we'll have a great time with Dirt Track Speedway. Thanks again. Make sure you share it with your friends. And if you're watching this either on YouTube on the replay or just on Facebook because somebody shared it, give Dirt Track Speedway a like. It's a show about lifestyle of the dirt track in Iowa, not about results and whatnot. So thank you guys. Have a good night. Video highlights from Dirt Track Speedway, presented by Fast Shafts by Axle Exchange. They're not just fast, they're first. FastShafts.com.